Hello Gundam fans, this is Brian92, and today I'll be looking at the 1/100 Master Grade Sinanju OVA version from the Unicorn Gundam OVA series. So this is the third release of the Sinanju, I believe. We had the original Toki version, the Titanium version, and now the OVA version. And as far as I can tell, the OVA version here is the same as the original. I don't see any differences. I don't know if the color is any different. I don't think it is. It still looks amazing. I don't see any changes in the plastic for better articulation. It had pretty good articulation to begin with. Still has all the nice gold stickers all over it, which if you don't want the stickers, you can swap them out for water slide decals. So these are perfect for like painting, which I might use if I decide to paint this guy, which I might. And there is a sheet of peel-off decals, which not as thrilled about, but that's just me. And of course you have the opening cockpit. Just open the chest piece here, and then the middle black piece, and then the little flap here. Can't really see full frontal just because he is way in the back, but you do have a little figure of him, which is nicely detailed and very small as usual. And the kit is still as solid as before. I don't know why, but I find the wrists anyways are a little loose. You can see it's not the wrist, it's the ball joint. Like not the wrist joint, but the ball joint connecting to the sleeve. It's a little loose, not like super wobbly, but it is looser than I like. I can fix that with like probably some super glue on the ball joint. This was a little looser. I don't know why. But other than that, it stands fine. It is a little back heavy because of the fuel tanks and the thrusters here, but you can easily fix that with the feet articulation. So this thing, it's still, even after how many years, it still looks amazing. Now, it is, like I said, the same release pretty much, so it is same articulation. The head can go up and down, and forwards and back, and rotate, and you can, it does have a movable mono eye. You just have to kind of, it's hard to see. It does move though. It's just really hard to make out because there's really not much like space to see, but it does move. And the arms will go forwards and back and up and down at the torso. The shoulder armor, which this one likes to pop off on mine. I don't think I have it in right. There, the shoulder armor goes up, and so does this flap. Arm go out pretty far. Rotate below the shoulder. Double jointed elbow. You got a little bit of a ball joint at the top of the sleeve, which it doesn't do it a lot. And then you got one down here at the hand and the hinge. Ball jointed thumb, ball jointed index finger. The other three are together, but they do have their own separate ball joint if you want to cut them. And they each have one knuckle joint. And the stomach, there is a little bit of a joint. You can see, goes up and down. And then the waist is a ball joint, so you can rotate it and kind of go forwards and back and side to side some. And the front skirts can move around a ball joint. Just be careful of the hosing here. Side skirts can move. Back skirts can move. The legs, they're on a track in the waist area, so you can actually get them to go forwards and back at that. And then if you actually move the leg, it'll go forward and back. Just gotta get stuff out of the way. And go out and rotate at the hip. It's nice free motion there. Double jointed knee. Love the separation there. And then you have the side leg thruster, which is on a double hinge. You can come out and rotate. And you have a foot guard here that can move. And the back, there's a flap here and one down here. And then you got the leg, which can go forwards and back, and side to side, and rotate. And then the foot right here, the front part of the foot, can move, and the toes can go down. Then you got the backpack, which the wings can go up and down, and in and out. And then if you pull them in the middle, the actual wing pieces come out, which is pretty nice. And then the fuel tanks are on ball joints. So this thing still has amazing articulation. I love it. I don't really think they could have made it any better, really. Although, do be careful with these pieces. They're actually really sharp. So if you try to move them, be careful. You might stab yourself, like I just did. But yeah, articulation is pretty awesome. So let's go over the standard affair with the Sinanju. You got the shield, of course, which has all the nice detailing, all the stickers on it. And you can take these parts here and bring them down. And they're pegged into little pegs right here, but you can also clip them down here into these little teeth. Just rotate it and peg them down here. And rotate and peg down. And you have two different beams for this. Little teeny ones and super duper long ones, which are almost as tall as the mobile suit. And of course, we're going to go big here. Go big or go home, right? And come on, there we go. This thing is massive. Simply massive. With those beam effect parts on it. It is awesome. I do love this. Takes up a lot of space on the shelf though, so you gotta like have it. I have it like, if I use it, hanging off the shelf pretty much at the front. But it is pretty nice. Of course, you know, you can swap it out for the little one with no problem if you don't like have enough space on your shelf. So you have a little teeny one, kind of looks like a fan or an axe. And if you don't want it on the shield, you can unpeg them. And this part does flip down, so if you want to have it, like, I guess, farther down on the shield, even taller. But you can take these and peg them together, and you have more of a double-sided axe. So, of course, if you connect these to it, it becomes so long, I cannot even hope to show you how long it is on the actual camera. And if you want, you can have them separate, I'm sure, because there are enough little gaps in here. And you can hold them fine without the pegs in the hand. So they could be separate individual weapons. Not a problem. So I'm just going to actually peg these back in here because they're going to come in handy for later. Oh, and you can actually open the, like, raise these parts up. Like that. So you can have them higher up. If you want. But let's just get these back on here. Alright. Now you can mount this two different ways, the shield. You can use the connector, of course, right here. And you can mount it on the arm. Well, it is a little tricky. I don't know why I have a hard time with it. It's not really this hard. I'm having trouble finding the sweet spot. There we go. So you can do that. Or you can see the little piece above it. There's a little gap right underneath. And you have this little piece you can flip out from underneath the flap on the shoulder armor. And you just stick that in there and it hooks into that groove. And now it is stuck on his shoulder. Like that. So that's fine, that's cool. I like different ways to pose something. And, I really gotta peg that shoulder armor in better. Give me your shield. Yeah, definitely not pegged in good enough. Anyways. On the mobile suit, you also have the beam sabers, which are on the arm guards. On a double hinge here. Now you can use them on the mobile suit, on the arm, which I actually really like the way you can do that. But they do come out. They're just kind of in grooves. And you do have 2 clear yellow beams. And they're also very nicely detailed right here in the base and jagged around the entire beam. Very nice. I haven't been able to peg them into these pegs in the hand. I've tried, it just doesn't want to work. But you really don't need to. As you can see, he holds them fine. No problem at all, so don't need the pegs. And lastly, for the original release, I believe, you have the beam rifle, which looks really nice. You have the scope here, which actually there's 2, which have clear green pieces. You can rotate the one out. And you do get a grenade launcher attachment, which does flip out, so it looks like you can load it. And you flip this piece down, and it's supposed to slide. There's a little groove right there, and it goes in like that. And then you peg it in, and then you peg it at the front. And there you go. Now it's mounted onto the beam rifle. Also, I couldn't get it to hold it. Actually, I lied. I got it to hold it once. I had to rip the hand off and basically push it as hard as I could to get it to stay in the hand. I don't know why. I've always usually had problems with these kind of pegs. In the in at least the bigger mobile suits. Probably just me. Now you can also flip it if you take off the little scope piece. It's easier to do this. You can mount it on the back. There's a connector right tucked away in here. You flip it out and then open up the gray. It's really hard to see, I know. But there is this connector here. And you can kind of slide this in and then just clamp it on. And that was a lot easier than it should have been, but saves time. So, hooray. So we got that. Now, those, I'm pretty sure, are all the accessories that the original Sinanju came with, I think. But we do have one more. We have a bazooka. Now, this is the compact mode, and that's actually really cool. It gets pretty long. Yep. Has a little piece here, a little dongly thing. The handle does move, although I find I have to push up in order to get it to move. I think it might be bent a little bit, but it does move. You have an opening chamber here for the ammo. If you pull a little too hard, it easily pops off the track, but it goes right back in. And you can see all the, what are they, missiles? Goes right back in. And this is the way the other weapons should have been modified. They should have been modified, because if you look here, there's not only a hole, there's a little peg. And in the hand, there is a little hole and a little peg. And this thing fits perfectly. Once I got it in there, it was perfect. This thing is the best accessory that he can hold. So I kind of wish they had modified the beam rifle. But oh well, what can you do? Now, he can hold it, like I said. It is a little cumbersome because of the shoulder armor. And it can also be stored on the backpack. Same connector. A little harder. I find it's easier to use the thinner part of the barrel, but you can't do it. It's not that easy. Not that easy. It looks kind of weird. But that's the best I can do. There's probably an easier way. I think it has something to do with this clip right here, this little protrusion. You're supposed to, like, get it, like, kind of into the groove. Like, oh, like that. Haha! Problem solved. You can kind of see it in there. Okay, that's cool. But there is more. If you want, you can attach this piece. And it's like a scope thingy. I have no idea. It goes to the front here, which means you can't collapse it anymore, but I guess that's not needed. It has an extra handle and an extra dongly thing. I don't know what this is. Or, if you want to do something else, you can take off the, I guess it's another scope, and take the one with the beam rifle, rotate the second one out, and then peg it right into a hole right here. You have to do this first, because there's not really much space. And then peg this one back on, and you have a crap ton of scopes. Scopeception. That's a lot of stuff going on up there now. But hey, that's cool, you know, interchangeability. I like it. Now, other than mounting this on the back, say you want to have him hold the beam sabers or whatever, and you want him to have this on the back, where are you going to put this? Well, they thought of it. You take the shield. Oh, and before I forget, you can mount the grenade launcher there, if you don't want it on the beam rifle. But you can also mount this in the same place. You just peg it right in, pretty much. You can see it kind of lines up with these little gray pieces right here. Right, like that. Now, it's not... It stays, it's not super secure, but if you take these parts and rotate them, there's those little protrusions right here. If you keep it all the way up, it will go into holes on the side of the bazooka. So all of a sudden, none of these connections are super solid, but with all of them in place, it is actually really secure. Well, I say that, don't I? But at least it didn't fall off, so... Yeah, if one comes off, the other ones will probably hold it. Probably. And for the final thing... don't do that. I have to get this part off. Maybe. And the dog barks. And put it right back here. Like that. So now you have a handle back here, so I guess you can hold it like that. Oh my god. Let's do this. We are going to do this right now. Yes. Best weapon. Well, for the moment. Look at that. That is pretty awesome. Yes, bazooka, beam, saber, thing, axe, and a shield. That is actually pretty awesome. He can hold it. Like, because I said, this is a really solid connection. He can actually hold that. It's kind of ridiculous, but I like it. Now, I have tried to mount it on his arm with all this stuff on it. It's really heavy for his arm connector. It's a little easier to connect it onto the shoulder piece. It holds a little better. I'm sure if you fiddle with it, you could get on the arm fine, but I couldn't quite get it to stay, because when I moved it, it fell off. But if you can figure it out, this is really, really awesome. Or just have him hold it like a bazooka. Kind of looks like something they do in the SDs. But anyways, I love these accessories. I love the new addition of the bazooka and all the interchangeability with all the parts for the shield, with the scopes, with the beam sabers, with the axes, combining them. I love it. Everything about the accessories are great. So let's compare this guy with the recently released Master Grade Sinanju Stein. And there goes his fuel tank. And you can see, pretty nice together. I think they're the same height, just a little spread apart. Yeah, there we go. But man, if I had to choose, I gotta lean to the normal Sinanju. I really like the Sinanju Stein, but just something about the Sinanju that looks amazing. Just it's all the spikes and the wing backpack. Yeah. Well, they're both great, but I'm just a little more fond of the Sinanju than the Stein. And finally, because I have it here, my custom Fire Unicorn, which is basically a full frontal version. And you can see, Unicorn looks really anorexic next to the Sinanju. But they're still pretty big together. What the hell. All three of them together. There we go. A family. So that is the Master Grade Sinanju OVA version. I think this is a great kit to get. If you are on the fence about getting which Sinanju you should get, and you really don't want to pay the outrageous price of the titanium, this one's really awesome. It has, from what I can tell, everything the original had. Oh, before I'm done, what the heck is this? It was on the part count, it was crossed out. It looks like some kind of an adapter. I'm not really sure. Is it for another mobile suit to mount the bazooka? I don't know. But anyways, besides that, yeah, this thing is amazing. If you have the money, it is a great purchase. It is really awesome. So that's about it, and I'll see you at the next review.